What's going on, guys? It's Gendo here, and welcome to episode 2 of The World's First, where Sheffield FC are going to be taking on Chasetown and Carlton to open up the Evo Stick Northern Premier League Division 1 South season. Whoo boy, that's going to be a mouthful. But of course, before we even get to that, we do have a bunch of ins and outs, not just on the roster side, but on the staff side as well. I did see on the first video somebody asked to see what the staff looked like, and while I can't show you what I started out with, I will show you what we have acquired. So let's take a look at that first. And this is everyone who we brought in. As you can see, Andy Kiwomia, who was the former manager, already gone. But taking a look at the ins, we got ourselves an assistant manager, 2 physios, 1 head, 1 normal, 2 scouts, a chief scout, and a head of youth development, and that, my friends, is what makes up the entirety of our staff. We had 10 spots, and we brought in 7 new members. Of course, myself, who is already there, but the original staff was myself, Mick Jenkins, who is the fitness coach, and then Paul Rogers, our director of football. Most of these staff hires were at the behest of Paul Rogers, since I let the director of football take care of the majority of the staff. And as you can see, he has brought in some of the best scouts and physios that the current division have. So as you can see, best player potential, judging player potential, judging player ability, and on physio side, we have the best physiotherapy stats in the league. Now, as far as coaches go, we are above average in pretty much every facet. When it comes down to training, though, that's going to be a little bit of a challenge, since everyone's going to have to spread themselves thin, and we only have about 1 star on each of the individual training elements. And here are the long list of transfers in and out. I'm going to highlight the ones that are still on the squad and could actually do a bit of damage, but believe me when I say this is not even the half of it. I still have about 5 or 6 more players that could possibly come in on loan between now and the next match with Carlton. But as of right now, here are all the players that are coming in. Firstly, we have Brad Riley, a center mid who can also play on the right, 22-year-old Englishman. Looks fairly decent for a center mid, but I'm trying to play a bog standard 4-4-2, and I didn't have a lot of good right wingers. So I'm bringing him in. He looks fairly well-rounded and looks like he can do a fairly decent job. We then have Danny Bacon, a 34-year-old Englishman, center mid who can also play striker, though I am going to try and implement him more as a center mid. I want him to also be a leader of this team, even though his leadership skill is only a 3. As far as some of his stats go, 11 technique, an 8 in passing, and a 10 in dribbling. He can definitely hold his own in the center of the park, and I'm going to try and utilize him as an advanced playmaker as much as possible. He is also one of the few players that I actually have a full contract on. I'm paying him £3,000 per the year, making Danny Bacon and Paul Knowles the only 2 players on my squad that have a yearly salary. Everyone else is pay per match. And who's going to be the backup striker to Benny and Yohan? It's going to be Abubakar Shigo, a 21-year-old Somalian. I rarely see a Somalian in the game, but here we go. Shigo is that, and he looks fairly decent as an out-and-out striker. He can give Shaq a challenge for 3rd best striker on the squad with his 10 first touch, 9 in finishing. Decent bit of technique and pace about him as well. Mentals, not so much. Vision, could use a little bit of work. He's only got 4 there. But overall, I think he can be a very solid backup striker. And this is going to be our new goalkeeper, Callum Williams, 22-year-old Englishman, and his stats don't look all that bad for this type of level. Yeah, sure, his speed, not all that great, 5 pace, 5 acceleration, but a 12 agility, decent reflexes, decent communication. He can hold his own mentally as well as physically, and he is a big step up from who I had previously. Next up, we have Tom Batten, a left back who can also play left mid, since I was a little light on that left-hand side, and like I said, I was going to be playing a 4-4-2 formation. I need left side wingers, and he right now is the only player that can play on the left side, and he'd be more of a defensive winger if not a full out-and-out left back. With an 11 tackling, a 9 marking, and a 9 positioning, he is not all that bad. Yes, there probably are better options out there, but for right now, this guy will have to do. Next up, we have 20-year-old Kieran Coupe, who can play both fullback positions, right and left side. Speed-wise, not all that bad. He's at least got double digits in pace, agility, and acceleration. Defensively, could use a little bit of work. 7 marking, 9 tackling, 9 positioning. He's decent mentally, but I want to try and build up his defensive stats. He will be my starting right back for the time being, but like I said, there are better options out there. Plus, I want to build up his defensive ability. I want him to try and mark better, trying to get him tackling better. And then finally, stocking up defensively, as you have been noticed, Kyle Lewis, a 19-year-old Englishman center back. 11 marking, 8 tackling, 11 positioning. His defensive attributes are fairly solid for this type of league. And to be quite honest with you, I may try and get him into the rotation, if not start him out and out. The only thing that he'd be lacking is his physicality and his speed. His stamina and strength, not all that great at an 8. His pace is an 8. His agility is a 10. Acceleration of 11. But outside of that, outside of his defensive technical attributes, he has absolutely nothing. Which isn't all that bad. It means that he's deeply focused on his craft, on his skill, being a center back. But that's all I really should be focused on for him. So Kyle Lewis, not all that bad. Definitely going to try and use him as much as possible. Right, so now that we got all those introductions out of the way, let's get right into the matches. Sheffield versus Chasetown to open up this Level 8 season. We're going to be at home today at the Coach and Horses ground. And this is how we're going to line up to start. In net, Callum Williams. Along the back line, we have Coupe, Lewis, Okoye, and Ben Turner. Our midfielders will consist of Brad Riley, James Knowles, Danny Bacon, and Tom Batten. And of course, our 2 strikers up front, the 2 strikers that really should be playing this entire season, Yohan Ben Yaya and Benny Igihan. It's going to be a long season. It's a 42-match season since there are 22 teams in the league. So losing the first one, hell, losing the first 2 wouldn't be all that bad in the grand scheme of things, but I would like to start off on the right foot. So let's kick off and see what happens. Alright, first highlight is 34 minutes in, and we have the ball. We're going to be in the red and Chasetown in the blue. It's a good cross in from Batten. It finds Ben Yaya, and we get on the board first. Yohan Ben Yaya opening the scoring for Sheffield FC. It's 1-0. And this was also our first shot on target, actually first shot total, and we made the most of it. It's been a very boring day, but Ben Yaya giving the Sheffield supporters something to cheer about. And like I said, that first half was very uneventful, that goal being the only highlight within that first half. Each side taking 3 shots total, of course us being the only one with a goal scored, as that was our only shot on target. Overall, the team's doing fairly average. Midfield and up is doing a little bit better than defensively. We need to try and close down Chasetown, prevent them from getting within our 18-yard box. Alright, 62 minutes in, and we have a throw-in deep in our area. We need to clear it out. Good ball up to Bacon. Bacon slots it through to Yohan. Yohan's being mugged off, though. Has to go backwards with it. Bacon. Long ball. Tried the long ball head, but James Knowles tried to come down with it. Can he get it back? We do. A lot of midfield battles. Coupe trying to go long ball over the top. Knowles down with it. Back to Bacon. Through to Igihan. Igihan out to Knowles and Riley. Fighting over. It's Yohan, and Yohan gets a brace. Yohan Ben Yaya making it 2-0 to Sheffield after 63 minutes, and the crowd's going wild. All 200 of them. Some beautiful passing, even though we were giving a possession early on in this sequence, but it ended nicely with a goal. And I know Yohan really wants to stay on for his hat-trick, but he's at a 70, or actually he's at a 60 for his condition, so I'm going to be subbing him out right now for Abubakar Shigo. Benny, however, he was sitting at a 6.2, 6.3 for the majority of the match. He finally got back up, so I'm not going to sub him out here. But there is something to be addressed. Defensively, Nathan Okoye is going to have to be coming off, and I don't know if I want to sub on Kevin Grocott or Edward Dakwa, but I do think Dakwa having the better, not just conditioning, but also, match fitness. I'm going to sub him on. So Dakwa is going to come on for Okoye. 2 subs, keeping the last one in my pocket. 20 minutes left to go. Can we hold on to this lead? It's a free kick. Batten gets it ahead to Abubakar Shigo, and automatically making his presence felt just 2 minutes after being subbed on. Shigo making it 3-0 to Sheffield FC. And look at this, just a long free kick from Batten. The nearest player to it was Shigo, and on the volley, right into the back of the net. And with 10 minutes left to go, I might as well make my final sub. James Knowles is going to come out for Kevin Grocott. And I think he can play center mid. Yeah, he can play center mid decently. So, final sub, 10 minutes left. I'm sure we can hold down this lead and get a win. Corner kick. That's going to be the final kick of the game. Good block. I don't know who that was. Who was number 2? Coupe with the block right on the near post, preventing a last-second goal from Chasetown. And there's the full-time whistle. It is 3-0 Sheffield FC, opening the bank with a good, solid 3 points. So just tell everyone I am very pleased with how everyone played. And let's continue that on into the next match. Alright, and here we go for the second match. Carlton versus Sheffield at Carlton, of course. And this is how we're going to line up. Same 4-4-2. Callum Williams, Coupe, Lewis, Okoye, and Turner along the back line. Riley, Knowles, Bacon, and Batten along the middle. Igahan and Ben Yahya sitting up top as the 2 strikers. There are 3 lone players in. When I told you that I wasn't done bringing in players, these 3 blue names are 3 new players that you're probably going to learn. And 2 of them may actually get to play in this game. So let's highlight them first. Tom Vaughn, he is a defensive mid / center mid. Very all-round center mid. Definitely a good, decent backup player. 9 pace, 9 agility, acceleration, half-decent mentals, half-decent technical skills. A very, very solid player. And then Ryan Edmonds. Yes, he is very pacey with a 12 pace, 12 acceleration. I'm not too pleased about his mentals, but his technical abilities for being a winger are what I looked for. A 9 in a dribbling, a 9 in a crossing, 8 in a technique, and a 7 in a passing. I know those are a little below average, but these were honestly the best that I could get. He's on loan from Stafford, which is also in the same division as us, so I was really surprised I was able to get him. But at the same time, I want to try and develop him as my primary assist man. If he can, take it up the wing and then get a cross in, that's really all I'm looking for out of him. All right, and with that said, let's try and make it 2 for 2 in this episode. Let's kick off and see what happens. All right, first highlight of the day, it's a long throw in for Carlton. They're going to be in the yellow. We're going to be in the red, and they get it well into the box. It's a good shot, far post, and Carlton get on the board first, 1-0 after just 8 minutes. First shot, first goal. It was a decent long throw into the box, and then a good long pass across, forcing everyone to go to that side, leaving the net wide open. 25 minutes gone. It's a throw-in for us out on the right. Knowles, what's he going to do? Oh, wow, that was a really sharp tackle from Carlton player Howell. And what are they going to do with it now as they are coming up the pitch and looking really, really sharp at it, too? Good block away, but they still have the ball. They have 2 players in the box. Oh, good takeaway by Riley. Now, you made a really bad pass. Okoye trying to go over the top, and I feel like it's going to be a midfield battle between the teams. Ben Yahya playing way too far back to be any place of note. But here we go. Long ball forward to Knowles. Goes to Igahan. And was Igahan onside? Yes, he was. He knots it up at 1 apiece. Benny Igahan in the 26th minute. And after all that battling in the midfield, I did not think that anything would have came to fruition on our end. But a good cross in from Knowles, find Igahan, and he knots it up at 1. Corner in from Carlton, though. Good clearance away. Who's going to pick that up? Looks like we're going to win the battle. Igahan. Make a smart pass. Turner. Gets it through to Yohan Ben Yahya. Played outside. Oh, Riley. If Riley just would have had the pace to pick that up. Defense letting Husbands go through. And Carlton take the lead right back. It's 2-1 after 32 minutes. And defensively, that was just a big mistake. The defense were just caught napping there as a nice through ball, sends it through to Husbands, and then just one touch, shoot, score. So a little better mix of play this time around. However, the results are not going as expected. We were down 2-1 at the half, and as you can see, Yohan Benyaya not looking all that great with a 5-9. I'm going to let him keep going out there for the time being. But if it looks like that he's not going to do any much better, I'm going to sub him out. And it looks like Kieran Coupe also not looking too good. Neither is Okoye. But then again, because of those long balls over the top and failing to get the tackles or the heads away, that's why those ratings are so low. 61 minutes gone, and Carlton with a throw in deep in their half. Defensively, we need to cut that out. Don't let Husbands onto it. Good interception by Lewis. Now can we do something with it? Turner going long ball to Benyaya. Out to Baton on the left wing. He's going to cross. He finds Benyaya. Oh, what a save by the Carlton keeper, preventing a second goal from being scored. And with that said, I'm going to make a couple subs out, just because of the fitness issues. Kyle Lewis is going to make way for Edward Dakwa, even though Okoye hasn't been playing all that great. And while Benyaya did get that shot off, he really hasn't done much to warrant continuation in there. But actually, I'm going to bring on Tommy Vaughn in the place of Kevin Bacon and give Tommy Vaughn his first bit of playtime with Sheffield FC. Tag, make it automatic. And there we go. 2 subs, keeping the last one in my back pocket. And it looks like that's going to be it. Alright, now is probably the best time to sub out Benyaya. Bubakar Shigo is going to come on for him. Final sub, 18 minutes left to go. And all we need is a goal. All we need is a goal to get a point. That's all I'm looking for. And it just was not to be, as we were not able to get anything going in those last 18 minutes. And Carlton come away with the victory 2-1. And we suffer our first defeat. Well, at least we suffered it early. Well, I'm still far from pleased with what I saw from this team. There could have been some sort of attempt within the second half to get a second goal, but there just was not. There wasn't anything. So, halftime score remains the full-time score, and that sees us drop down to 9th place after 2 matches. Well, it's just 2 matches. So with that being said, let's take a look at the schedule and see when we can come back. Yes, we got a lot of matches. Way too many matches. I think I have an FA Trophy match in here somewhere. Same with an FA Cup match. And we're going to be coming into the second qualifying round. That'll be drawn on the 14th of September, which is right here. So have Daventry, Greasley, Rugby, Newcastle Town, and the match will probably take place in between Newcastle and Colville. Either that or Colville and Tividale. So when we come back, it'll be Colville and then whoever we're playing in the FA Cup, the second qualifying round of the FA Cup. So with that in mind, I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. If you like what you saw, please hit the like button, subscribe if you're new and you want to see more FM content on this channel. Any comments, suggestions, questions, anything else, please leave in the comment box below. But as always, this is Gendo, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, and peace out.